Hello and welcome to my review of Goldfinger, the third film in the James Bond franchise, and also the third film to star Sean Connery as Agent 007. The film sees Bond attempting to foil the plans of gold magnate Yorick Goldfinger. Goldfinger plans on contaminating the entire gold reserves in Fort Knox, thereby raising the value of his own reserves. After what was for me a disappointing film in From Russia with Love, I feel that the franchise gets back on track with this film. It has an interesting villain, an interesting sidekick for the villain, and quite a few interesting female characters. There's actually a couple of female characters in this film that are very strong-headed, particularly Tilly Masterson, who doesn't even get bedded by Bond, and she's out for vengeance against Goldfinger for the death of her sister, Jill Masterson. While Jill Masterson's character is the one that everyone seems to remember, and she's made famous for being the naked body on the bed that was painted in gold, I actually find her sister, Tilly Masterson, to be the more interesting character. And the fact that Bond doesn't get to bed her only makes her more interesting. And I was actually quite surprised when they kill her off. You're expecting this story to move along with Bond and her investigating Goldfinger, and I expected her to get some vengeance towards the end of the film. So when she's killed off halfway through, it was a real surprise. And it also means that she leaves the film remaining an interesting character, rather than going the same route that all the other Bond girls end up going. Pussy Galore, on the other hand, is someone that Bond eventually does get to bed. But that doesn't stop her being an interesting character in this film. She's the leader of an all-female flying squadron, a group that Goldfinger intends to use to carry out his schemes. Honor Blackman is great in the role. She really acquits herself well alongside Sean Connery. She's also the oldest woman to play a Bond girl in the series, and it doesn't matter, she still has that sex appeal that all the other Bond girls have. Then there's Oddjob, who of course is the start of a trend in the Bond films of having a henchman with a gimmick. Harold Sakata as Oddjob didn't start out as an actor, and it clearly shows here. He's very, very wooden, and I feel like the character was maybe better on paper than it is portrayed in the film, and I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me on that one because he's held up in quite a high regard as one of the classic Bond villains. Gert Frobe is also really good in this film as the lead villain, although until recently I didn't realise that his voice is actually dubbed in the film, so good job to the people who do the dubbing. Connery once again is great as Bond, and he does get some really darker moments to play with in this film that hark back to some of the kind of darker moments he played with in Dr. No. Particularly the opening sequence when he fries a guy and then delivers the line, "Shocking." The set design by Ken Adam is absolutely breathtaking. His Fort Knox is just beautiful to look at. You can't believe that it's a set. It's absolutely huge. The music throughout the film by John Barry is excellent as ever, and the main theme song with Shirley Bassey is one of the all-time classic Bond themes. With all that being said, the film's reliance on gimmicks, like with the villains and with the gadgets, to me while it sends the series of films in a new direction, one which can be quite a strong point in some of the later films, and with this one, I feel it's also maybe a minor step back from the espionage kind of feeling of the first two films, which I think was a success with Dr. No and not so much with From Russia with Love. So for me, at the first three films, I'm still going to go with Dr. No as the best, but I think this film is a great step up from Russia with Love. Really enjoyable, some nice action, and I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. So if you're a Bond fan, where does this film sit in your rankings in relation to the rest of the franchise? Comment below and let me know. And until next time, thanks for watching.